Finally, yes, my god, finally Sony is doing the reveal event for the PlayStation 5. It's this Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I can't wait. Obviously, we have a ton of information about the Xbox Series X. There's not really a lot we don't have aside from seeing the UI. But we don't really have much for the PlayStation 5, and we're finally going to be getting all of that. And if you don't end up watching this video in its entirety, by the way, I want to mention now that I will be live streaming the event here on my channel. So if you want to come hang out with me and watch it with me, you can do that. I'll be live here as soon as the event starts, probably maybe 20 minutes beforehand, just to hang out and talk and maybe play a game. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I just thought I would sit down here and do a little video talking about what I hope to see for this PlayStation 5 event, my expectations for the console, and just overall how Sony is going to handle the event, because I do think that this is a very important moment for them, and a lot of the PlayStation 5's success is really riding on this, since Microsoft has already come out with so much about the Xbox Series X. So let's get right into it. Alright, so I'm going to start off by saying this. Sony absolutely has to reveal the design of this console. We've been waiting for a while now, and we've seen what the controller looks like, and people are mixed on the DualSense. I'm pretty indifferent. I'm more interested in how it feels in my hand than how it looks, so I won't really be able to give my opinion on it until I've gone hands-on with the DualSense controller. Anyway, the Series X, obviously the design has been revealed. We're getting a really great Microsoft fridge, which I've been anticipating for a long time now. Obviously, we have things like concept designs of the PlayStation 5 from a few different artists, and we do have the dev kits that were sent out to developers, but look at the dev kit for the PS4. Yeah, the PS4 looks absolutely nothing like that. So I doubt that the dev kit that got sent out is going to look even similar to the actual release of the console. Who knows? Maybe that's how they're actually designing it, but I'm hoping for something a little more sleek. I think that this, current design looks a little silly, so I'm hoping that we finally get an official design reveal for the console. And yeah, I just hope it's something simplistic. I think that the PS4 Pro, I just love to look at it. It's so pretty. And I hope that Sony kind of sticks with that really sleek, minimalist design. I'm really into it. So another thing I'd like to see, and I'm not 100% certain that we will be getting this, but this is just me talking about what I would like to see. I would love to see like a hands-on demonstration of someone playing a game that is optimized to look great on the PS5, not one where they necessarily had to worry about the previous generation of consoles, but I would love to see hands-on what the PlayStation 5 is capable of as far as, the graphics are concerned and performance is concerned, because as I said in my video about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think we shouldn't be seeing 30 FPS on these new consoles, and I think we will. Ubisoft came out and said that they were targeting 30 FPS for Valhalla even on next-gen consoles, which is super disappointing, and I really hope they're just trying to lower our expectations and the game will release at 60 FPS. That would be great. Another reason that I think Sony really should do a hands-on demonstration of what the PS5 is capable of is because Microsoft hasn't done that yet. That video that they released a little while ago, just showing off some of the games that were launching with the PS5, where they said there were gameplay trailers, we really didn't get much gameplay in there. There were a few shots that might have been gameplay. For the love of God, that was not gameplay. So I think that if Sony came out and showed us some actual real-world gameplay on the PlayStation 5, that would be a really good leg up for them against Microsoft, because they need to do a lot now to catch up, since Microsoft has done so much pretty decent press work. It hasn't been amazing, but it's been better than what Sony's done, and they need to do some catching up, and I think that that would be a really great point for them. Alright, so my next point is I would love to see a few really cool games get revealed for the PlayStation 5. Microsoft's Series X game reveal was, it was a good attempt. It was a little lackluster, and I wonder if they were getting a little cocky because Sony wasn't doing anything. And I don't think that's the case, but it's just, it was a little disappointing, and I'm hoping that Sony can come out with a game showcase and really show up Microsoft here. And no, by the way, I'm not like a Sony fanboy or anything. I've been on Xbox for most of my time gaming. Well, I guess I was with Nintendo for a long time, but then I bought an Xbox. I've been on Xbox way longer than I've had a PlayStation for, but I tend to prefer the PlayStation at this point. So What I'm saying is that I would love to see some really interesting games get revealed. Now, we did get a list of 38 games that were apparently going to be spoken about, or at least they were listed in a magazine that was leaked for like some sort of a PlayStation magazine. Things like Elder Scrolls 6 were on there. It would be pretty cool if we could hear a bit more about Elder Scrolls 6, because Elder Scrolls 5 is my favorite game of all time. I'd love to get a little bit more information about that, even if it's years away. But I think if Sony came out and did a really badass, great game reveal, that would be another great point for them, and they could really use it at this point. Now, here's one part where I think if Sony doesn't do this, Microsoft has a huge win in store for them. That smart delivery system that Microsoft is doing is so awesome to me. The fact that, you know, say Cyberpunk 2077, you buy that, that's coming out before the next generation consoles. If you buy that on the Xbox One, you're going to be able to upgrade to it for free to an Xbox Series X copy. That's a really, really great system, and I spoke about this a little bit in the Assassin's Creed Valhalla video. I hope that Sony integrates something similar to this, because if they don't, as I was saying, Microsoft really has won in that department. People should not be forced to buy a game multiple times because a new platform comes out. If you buy it once, you should be able to have the game. Now, people will purchase games multiple times, but I think that if Sony does sort of follow suit with Microsoft here, then customers will be way happier. I believe their sales will be higher. And I think that now that Microsoft has come out and said they're doing this, it's incredibly important for, honestly, every gaming console that comes out to have this sort of system, because that's one of my favorite parts of the Series X so far, is just the fact that you don't have to purchase games over and over again. Alright, so the final point that I'm going to make in this video, and to me this is the most critical part of selling these consoles, is players really are going to need great incentive to upgrade to the next generation of consoles, because the consoles that we have right now are pretty powerful. I have a PS4 Pro and it runs games very well and it looks great. The Xbox One X is the most powerful gaming console that we've ever seen. So both Microsoft and Sony need to make a very, very strong effort to give us good reason to upgrade to these consoles. Sony is touting this SSD, and I'm not sure if everyone fully understands what this super fast SSD means. It should eliminate things like texture pop-in, not eliminate, but help with things like texture pop-in and load times, but it's not going to give you, more frames per second. It's not going to be able to do anything like that. An SSD is simply faster reading of data, reading and writing of data, sorry. That's all an SSD is going to do. So yes, the SSD sounds very impressive for the PlayStation 5, but we're going to need more than a faster SSD to make it worth a buy. And this is why I've been so adamant about 60 FPS being the new standard for these new consoles, because we already have games that look fantastic on the current generation of consoles running at 30 FPS. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is an absolutely gorgeous game, and you can run it at 4K on the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. I'm not sure if it's actually running like true native 4K on the PS4 Pro, but it certainly is on the Xbox Series X. Now, if that game was released on the next generation of consoles, yes, it would look better, but probably it would be a marginal difference. But imagine if we were able to play at 60 FPS on our consoles. That would be a selling point for me. That's why I think it needs to become standard, and it's such an important part here, is because now we're at a time where we need to focus on the smaller details in graphical design, but those small details make the biggest difference, right? People are saying that we've hit like a graphical wall and games won't look better from here on out, or the difference will be marginal. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that if developers don't really commit to it, then yeah, sure, that's certainly a reality that we could face. But we still have so much room for improvement in terms of things like textures, and animation is a big one, physics is a big one, lighting. There's still a lot that can be improved, and I think that on the next generation of consoles, we could have games that start to look photorealistic. Maybe not on this one, but I mean, we're getting there, and we really need some very strong incentive to upgrade to these new consoles, because by the looks of it, it's not going to be cheap. So I think that Sony really needs to come out swinging here and give us a lot of reasons to upgrade. Otherwise, they might be in some danger as far as this next generation goes in terms of their sales. Okay, and I completely forgot that I actually do have another point. This is just going to be a quick one. Backwards compatibility. Yes, we have PlayStation Now, and Sony really likes that we have PlayStation Now because it's a subscription service. But the reality is, I tried it out. Games don't look all too good on there. The resolution, everything just looks muddy and not good. Now, Sony has come out and confirmed that they will have backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4, which is great. But I think if they took it a step further and went and made PS3 games compatible on PS5, even PS2 games, maybe we could go all the way back to the original PlayStation. Imagine if you had a console that was so powerful that it could run all the games at 60 FPS that you want, and at 4K, and it could play games all the way back to the PlayStation 1 era. You might have the best-selling game console of all time if you did that. That would be huge. It's such a nice thing to think about. My god, there's so many old games like Silent Hill that I've never played that I want to play so badly, but I don't have a PlayStation 2, and it's very hard to find Silent Hill. So I think that if they did this, my god, I'd pre-order one immediately as soon as they were available. If they came out and said that they were going to have backwards compatibility that went back that far, even if they just went back to PS3, then I'd be super happy. I am very glad that they're doing at least PS4 backwards compatibility, because the PlayStation 4 didn't have backwards compatibility with anything aside from PlayStation Now, which, as I said, is kind of a disappointing service. Yeah, man, that would be amazing to me, and a lot of people would agree with me on that. Alright, well, that's going to do it for this video. As I said at the start of this, I'll be live streaming the PlayStation 5 reveal event here on YouTube. I also have a Twitch account now, so you can go check that out, and I've set up a Discord server that's under my Twitch name, which is Stirkyn, Stirkyn. You can see that in the description below if you want to join a Discord server, or if you want to follow my Twitch, where I've actually been streaming pretty regularly, and this is more of my big project content, which I'm actually really enjoying making, and I can't wait to make some things like vlogs once things start reopening, after coronavirus kind of relaxes a little bit. So yeah, alright. Thank you so much for watching this video. What do you think of the PlayStation 5? Do you know? Are you going to be upgrading to the new consoles? Let me know. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Peace.